Welcome. What a glorious morning, huh? It's beautiful out there. So welcome today to this beautiful service, and it's put on by the choir, all choir led, and I welcome you from afar and from near, and welcome to the I'm all a flutter. Anyway, we're going to have a great service, and then welcome to the conversation and coffee down the hall in the activities room after, and welcome to the people on Zoom for coffee hour afterwards. So thank you. Yes. Yeah. I always like to listen to the end till we don't hear anything left. The opening words. Sometimes the mist overhangs my path and blackening clouds about me cling. But oh, I have a magic way to turn the gloom to cheerful day. I softly sing. And if the way grows darker still, shadowed by sorrow's somber wing, with glad defiance in my throat, I pierce the darkness with a note and sing and sing. I brood not over the broken past, nor dread whatever time may bring. No nights are dark, no days are long, while in my heart there swells a song, and I can sing. James Weldon Johnson, 1871 to 1938. And now we'll have another song.
Sing along with us. It's number 108 in your hymnal, and the words will also be up on the screen.
My life goes on in endless song about first lamentation. I hear the rhythm far off hymn that is the new creation. Through all the tumult and the strife, I hear the music ring. It sounds an echoing my soul. How can I keep from singing? Although the tempest round me roars, I know the truth is within. Although the darkness round me burns, sounds in the night it given. No song can shake my inmost calm, not to that rock I cling. Since love prevails in heaven and earth, how can I keep from singing? When tyrants tremble as they hear the bells of freedom ringing, friends rejoice both far and near. How can I keep from singing? To the birds themselves and vulture loud, our thoughts to them are ringing. When friends by shame are undefiled, how can I keep from singing?
Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve the needs of all beings, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with the source of our being. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. And now it's time for the offering for the ongoing work of this church. And with I'm at a loss for words again.
The food we collect
food,
for the family center.
Thank you, there, very good.
We have Tina's favorite little offering song here to listen to while we pass the plate around.
Thank you. I'll do it later. That was great. Even if I do say so myself. So I guess it's me and Anne. Is that correct? I'm not hearing anything different, so. All right, so I'll begin, I guess, and then Anne will chime in. My singing career started when I was in the 5th grade, I think it was. I joined my local church choir at the request of my choir director. She was the wife of the director of Kern-Hatton. And it was in the congregational church in Westminster. And the Kern-Hatton boys and the local town girls, I don't think there were any boys from town that joined the choir. So it was the boys and then the girls from town that consisted of the choir. And it was totally fun. She made it fun. She had the rehearsals at her house in Kern-Hatton, and after the rehearsal, she would have 1 or 2 kids help her make fudge, chocolate fudge, and then we would eat fudge and go home. And so that was my early career in singing, and it was at church. And like I've said before, in here, I didn't really go to church for the church, for paying attention to the sermon. I went to sing. That was my church. And then I joined the choir, the glee club at school, in high school. And then I joined the college glee club, whatever. And then a friend of mine became the music director at Kern-Hatton, and I was working there. And he put on a concert to benefit Kern-Hatton. And lo and behold, some people from the Blanche Moise Chorale came to sing in that concert. And they said to me, you need to join the Blanche Moise Chorale. And then that's where I met Anne. Yay. And from then on, Anne and I became singing partners. Our voices are very similar, and we often sat next to each other if we could get away with it. And we developed a lifelong friendship. And I will let Anne take over now. And I'll go in maybe a little later, I'll go into a little bit more about what singing means to me. But Anne, take it away.
All right. Great. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Auntie. Yeah, a similar story to Tina's in terms of how I came to music. I started singing in my church choir, the children's choir, when I was 6. And six. And you know, like the young singers in the video, they were actually singing a pretty complex melody, and not a real simple, straightforward melody. And the pitch was right on. It was beautiful, and I was able to do that from an early age, and people recognized and encouraged me. You know, I basically church, school, and college. Yes, and then the Blanche Moise Chorale that Tina just mentioned, as well as it plays a role in my activism as well, that I've talked with all of you about. So yeah, church, like Tina just said, as Tina just said, I ended up going to church so I could sing, and not for the rest of it. And after a while, I got I felt like that was a little hypocritical, so I stopped going to church. But I came back, most notably in the Unitarian Church in Brattleboro that I belonged to for quite a while. Yeah, just made me think of Sherry, Tina. And yeah, well, the Blanche Moise Chorale was like kind of the premier singing group in Vermont and New England. You know, we got to go all kinds of places with it. Carnegie Hall, Jordan Hall in Boston, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, all over, Symphony Space, Stores, Connecticut, University of Connecticut. And we were good. We were really good. And we got reviewed in the Wall Street Journal. It said we were, what did they say, Tina? We were adequately prepared. Big compliment. Anyway, in terms of singing, yeah, there I met Auntie, there I met Tina, and yeah, we sing. Our voices are so much alike, and we always breathe at the same time, which is not a good thing, you know, when you're supposed to be staggering the breathing. So, you know, we'd have to work on that. And Tina said when we could get away with it, we sat together. It was because we kind of had a tendency to talk.
And laugh.
And laugh. So, anyway, but I learned about Tina. When you sit next to someone, you learn about them. And I learned that Tina worked hard at her part and cared about doing a good job. And these things were important to me, you know, in a friendship. And that she sang from her heart. I mean, the thing about singing is you build the technical base We rehearsed 2 nights a week. We had to sing as individuals for the director, who was a world-class musician. And we had to know what we were, our part. But once you get that, and this is a metaphor for many other things in life, once you get that technical thing done, then you can soar. Then you can take off and be in spirit with other people that you're singing with. And so ultimately, that is why I sing. It is a spiritual thing for me. It's also, it's literally an inspiration. The breathing has kept me, I often say I would be crazier if I didn't sing. In terms of activism, music unites people. Music helps people feel positive and up and out. I remember once my affinity group was the vocal cords, so we were responsible for all the music, the singing at demonstrations and stuff. And the crowd was starting to get a little surly and angry. And somebody said, "Start a song."
Yeah.
And so we did. And it really did change the tone of what was happening to being adamant but in a more positive way. So there's just so much more to say, but that song we just did, that Jolene just played, it's exactly it. It's exactly it. And I could sing that over and over and over again and feel it every time from my heart. So anyway, I guess that's it.
And that's, you said it so perfectly, Anne. I love it. And I just want to add one more thing. And for me, it's very meditative. When I sing, and when I sing anywhere, it's so meditative that nothing else gets in. No difficulties, no troubles, I'm not thinking about anything else. When I'm singing, I am singing.
You are present.
I am so present, and I love it.
Yeah.
Clearly, I love it. I've been doing it for almost all my life. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Jolene.
I guess I'm next. So little bit of a similarity with Anne and Tina about how I started singing. I started singing at a very, very young age, just because I loved to sing. And then I sang with a children's choir at a church, and then got into what we would call a glee club. When I was in junior high, I went to a junior senior high school, and I was the only junior high girl who sang in the high school glee club. We were called the Moon Spinners, and it was great fun. And I was a violinist, but as time went on, I really shifted more towards singing. I got more enjoyment out of singing. Although the interesting thing is that singing is in performing when you're singing is much harder than playing an instrument, because you have an instrument in between you and your audience when you're playing an instrument. But when you're singing, it is you. It is your body. It is that is what is in front of people. So that can be very difficult for a lot of singers, but it's also what makes it much more personal. So when you sing, it comes from your soul. And so I kept singing, and I majored in voice at Interlochen Arts Academy, which was my high school. And then I also majored in voice at New England Conservatory. So I went for all that classical training, but while I was at New England Conservatory, I was also somewhat supporting myself as a jazz singer. So I kind of did the whole thing. I also sang country when I was in high school. I had a country band. So all these things that you're finding out about me. And then I stopped singing. I didn't sing for many years because I was in a bad marriage, and my husband told me that I couldn't sing. He said that my voice was terrible, and so I stopped singing. And when I got out of that marriage, uh, I met my husband, Ed, and I still didn't really sing. And we had our son, Cameron, and I wanted him to have music. And so I took him to a program called Music Together, where the parents and the children sit and sing, or they get up and dance and sing. And it was transformational for me. I started singing again. And I started singing again enough that I got a gig as a paid soloist at a big church in Belmont, Massachusetts. And I started really, really singing again. And I haven't stopped since then. I took training for that wonderful music and movement program and taught it for years. I had a studio up in White River Junction where I had 125 families that came to me every week. And I had another probably 30 to 40 families in Saxons River at Main Street Arts. So that was really the thing that brought music back into my life, and in a much more genuine way than it had been. When I was training, when I was at Interlochen every summer, and then when I was when I was there for school, and when I was at the conservatory, it was very competitive, and the joy of music, for me at least, was not there. It was, I was singing for the wrong reason. So there's always that why we sing. And I was not singing for the reasons that we just sang about. I was singing for applause. I was singing for approval. And when I was in my 30s, I said, I trained to sing opera. I better do it now before I turn 40. And so I did. And I sang with the Opera Theater of Weston. I sang with the Ray Lamore Opera Company. And I also did musical theater with lots of different groups around the Dorset Playhouse, Playhouse in Wilmington, all over the place. I sang and I worked really hard. And one night I was up for a curtain call, and it was in the Colonial Theater in Keene, and there was like 800 people there. And I said, why am I doing this? To myself, in my heart, I had to ask the question, why am I doing this? I mean, it's kind of fun, but boy, it's such hard work. And I wasn't really getting the kind of reward that one really wants spiritually for oneself. And so I made a decision. I had Lyme a little bit then, but I didn't really know what was wrong with me. I just knew that I was tired all the time. And I thought, maybe all of this performing is really exhausting me, and what I need to do is sing for spiritual purposes. And so I just stopped. I stopped singing in musical theater, and I stopped singing opera, and I started singing in churches all over Southern Vermont where I was invited to sing. And I sang for spiritual purposes. I sang to uplift spirit. It didn't have to be a belief system that I had. I felt that my voice was lifting people up in whatever belief system they had. And so I did that for a long time. And then I got Lyme really bad, and I had to stop even that. But I was teaching, and I was teaching my students, and I was teaching young people to sing and to find their true voice. And I think that this is a really, really important thing that a lot of people don't really take into consideration, is what is your true voice? What is in your body? And we try to sound like somebody, but that's not our voice. Our voice is what really comes truly from our body mechanism and from our soul. And so that was really kind of a specialty that I had when I was teaching. And the way I really loved teaching was, who are you? What is that voice that's coming out of you? And I just loved to watch my singers blossom that way and find really who they were. I'm going to backtrack. I have so much to say, but we're already going over, but I just want to backtrack a little bit, because one of the things that we said is that singing is a human birthright. And in fact, music historians believe that human beings sang before they spoke. We sang before we had the spoken word. We made sounds. And when you think about a baby crying, there's not much difference between crying and singing. It's vocalizing. And when we weep, when we cry, when we sob, we are vocalizing, and it's like singing. When we're happy, we go, oh, and that's one of the exercises that we do to open up our voice when we're singing. So really, the sounds that we make, so many of them are singing. And to me, speech is just kind of monotonous, organized singing. So think about it a different way. We sing all the time. And I myself personally have sung with babies when they were days old. I have sung with dear friends when they were elderly in the moments before they passed. And I have sung with people everywhere in between. And singing always lifts us up. You know, there's all this scientific research, and I got it on all these papers here, but I don't have time to tell you about it. But singing is really good for us. Singing, you know, produces endorphins. It makes us feel good. It gives us the singer's high. It expands our lung capacity. Singing is so great for us. And like I said, that's like a whole other discussion, but it's good for our spirits. And one of the things that I love to do over the years is lead singing meditation groups. And when we do singing meditation, we chant a short song over and over for 3 minutes, and then we sit for 3 minutes in silence. And people who are new to singing meditation come and they say, oh, how can you do this for an hour? Well, generally, when I stop the group after an hour, they think we've only been going for like 15 minutes. And they ask me if we can keep going. So sometimes those singing meditation groups have gone on for like an hour and a half. And what happens is that as we sing and we get those endorphins flowing and we get really focused and we put, like as Tina said, we put the other stuff out of our minds and we're in the zone. And then when you have that quiet, if something comes back into your head, what comes back into your head is the words that you were chanting. So it still keeps you in the zone and you get deeper and deeper and deeper as the time goes on. So that said, I'm going to segue us into a piece of music that I came up with this crazy idea of choral meditations years ago. And I would come up with 2 or 3 words that I would have people sing. And we'd come up with some notes that are usually within a chord. Sometimes it's a, you know, usually like a minor chord, but sometimes it's something that you would hear in a wind chime. And I had the virtual choir recorded 3 words: breathe, be, and now. And it is random. You sing your note, you sing whichever word you feel like singing. You breathe when you want to, you come in and out, you can rest. And it forms an organically moving chord. So we're going to do that together. But just one thing, and this is from science. Okay. Singing the short ah sound, I'm reading this, will help banish the blues. It says it forces oxygen into the blood, which signals the brain to release mood lifting endorphins. So the ah. So when you sing now, you're actually singing the ah. Now, okay, and then breathe and be. To boost alertness, make the long E sound as an emit. It stimulates the pineal gland, which controls the body's biological clock. So choose one. Choose now, choose breathe, choose be. Sing along with the virtual choir, but don't sing with any one person. Just sing how you feel like singing. And we're going to chant for 3 minutes and feel. And then think about the words too. Breathe, be, now. Put that in your belly. Feel that in your belly. Okay, because the belly, people say singing from the heart, but it's not actually. Where we have our feelings when we're singing is in our solar plexus, in our belly. So I'm going to put this up. You don't need the words. Breathe, be, now. There's just some pretty pictures of a lotus blooming. And sing along with us. And those of you in the sanctuary, I wouldn't say that you would want to stand for this. I would say sit and close your eyes. And you can also just sing some other vowel if you want to. You could just sing on a vowel and give it a try and see if you can sink into the zone. Here we go. That went pretty fast, didn't it?
That was 3 minutes?
Yep.
Oh.
Surprise. Okay, now we have Sharon who's going to talk to us.
Sharon and, yeah, and then you. And then us. Yeah.
My musical journey starts with my family. Both my parents were musical, classical, folk, and we traveled a lot. And when my brother and I were sitting in the back seat, the four of us would sing, just regular folk songs, whatever, and harmonize. She'll be coming round the mountain and, etc. And that really helped pass the time and sort of organically introduced me to singing in harmony and finding those notes. And the pleasure of doing that was a great way to pass the time. I overcame the time in first grade when we had a school choir chorus. And I still remember vividly where I was standing in that chorus when the director came over and pulled me out and made me sit over on the side and said, "You can't sing. Sit over here." Fortunately, my experience other places with my family and elsewhere showed me that wasn't true, but it sure was a blow to a young mind. I did sing in high school and some in college and really enjoyed that. And then when I was out on my own, I had friends who loved to sing and play, guitar and mandolin and fiddle. And so there was singing in my life. And in 85, I moved to Springfield and came to this church and started singing with the choir then. We've had several choir directors, and now with Julaine, I continue to sing, sometimes alto, sometimes soprano. And the joy of singing with other people is so rewarding. And the energy, that shared excitement of singing this the music we sing is, by nature of being in a church, It's uplifting. Back in 2010, my mother started going downhill at the age of 85. It took her a week and she died. Before she died, we went to the hospital where she was and sang with her. And my brother came and we sang for her. And when we noticed her taking her last breath, my brother took one hand, I took the other, and we sang, "I'll Fly Away," to her. It was such a meaningful, deeply meaningful and uplifting thing. And shortly after that, friends of mine, some of you may know, well, Tina Wood, who has been a pianist in our congregation for years, and Julie Levy and others took a training in doing hospice singing. And so shortly after my mom died, I started singing with this newly formed Clear Springs Hospice Singers. And it was new to all of us. We did a little training. We practiced some songs so we could sing together. And eventually we went and sang at nursing homes. We went to what was then the Springfield Health and Rehab, and to the Gill Home in Ludlow, and a few others here and there, but we went regularly. And we also were open to going to sing in people's homes. And over time, with twice a month rehearsals generally, we developed quite a body of songs, some of them rousing and uplifting, some of them a little softer, some in other languages, some about angels. And of course, "I'll Fly Away" is one that we sing often. And I feel like my experience singing to my mother as she was passing prepared me for that openness of heart, and overcame any fear or reluctance I might have had. It's wonderful to sing with a group. If we're in a nursing home and singing at someone's bedside, probably 5 or 6 people max is all you can fit in. And we would sing for people who were just not able to get up and around much by themselves, but still very bright and with it. And over time, we would see some of the same people kind of letting go. And there were a few times that we sang for folks who died, say, a day or 2 later, and that was very meaningful. We would always circle up afterwards, after a sing, and just share our thoughts and our feelings. I love the people we sing with. We are so bonded that singing together to bring comfort to people towards the end of our lives is so deeply meaningful. So between singing in this congregation with the wonderful music with Julaine, and then singing with the hospice chorus, has provided me with so much opportunity to sing, to open my heart. And I am not as afraid of death, just being around it, seeing people come to a sense of peace if they might be disturbed and anxious, nervous, and then after some singing, they relax. and smile. So that's my story of why I sing and what it brings to me.
Thank you, Sharon. Here's Hallie.
Yeah. Well, I've been musing all week about what I would say about why I like to sing. And I wasn't expecting to review my history like everybody else has here. So don't worry, I'm not going to. My mother was a music teacher, so singing and music has been a huge part of my life always. And that's enough on that. But why? What is it about singing? And Julaine, I mean, everybody has touched on this. Why is it different from speaking? There's something about when we sing, the resonance goes up into our head, into all the spaces in our head and vibrates that. There's something about that which is very moving for the whole body, the whole physical body. I have a friend who for years did something called sound therapy. And it's fascinating how somebody figured out all these different resonances that helped certain parts of the body, that different parts of the body resonated with certain sounds and certain vibrations and frequencies. And so it's clear when we sing or hear music of any sort that vibration, but especially when we sing, we're instilling that in ourselves. So it is a healing. It is healing and uplifting. There's, I'm sure, a lot of physical aspects that we don't even know about yet, but it makes you feel good. That's the bottom line. I love most in the world of singing. I love playing the French horn. Actually, I did for years because the resonance in that instrument is huge, and I could and that for me was a magnified kind of singing. But with singing, it's great in any way, shape, or form. But my favorite is singing in small group ensembles, so I can hear the resonance of my voice with 2 or 3 or 4 others. That's my favorite. So I'm going to stop talking, and Tina and I are going to do a duet, which you are all are very familiar with. We're going to sing Spirit of Life, which is 123 in your hymn book. And we will sing it through once as an a cappella duet. And then we will sing it through and hope that you will all join us. And I don't know if there's any way to turn this off or move it or.
No, just stand right there.
It's good.
Just, just stand there.
Because we don't need the mic.
No, just, that's for the Zoom people so they can hear you.
Well, okay. I'm going to give us the notes on the piano.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
All right, join us, please.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion.
Okay, and well, we don't really have time for a discussion. Maybe another time we'll have a discussion about, what singing means to you. Yeah? So we have another song. Come sing a song with me.
Recorded live at Parker Hill, so you'll hear the birds
Very
singing with
good.
us.
Yep.
Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and rose in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
And our closing words. Psalm 98. Oh, sing a new song to the eternal. Shout praise, all earth break into music and song. Praise the eternal with lyre and song. Let the sea and all within it thunder praise. The world and its inhabitants, let rivers clap their hands. Let mountains sing in chorus. Oh, sing a new song eternal.